Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Ruben Mejia, the Chief Technology Officer at SportsArt. Thank you for joining us, Ruben.
Thanks for having me, sir.
For folks who aren't familiar with SportsArt, you've been in business for quite some time. Give us a little bit of background.
Yes, sir. We've been in business officially since 1977. It's been in the United States since 1991. And the way our company was founded is that our founder used to make parts for several of the large major fitness equipment manufacturers, like motors or mainly motors. And funny story is that he would put his product into a particular piece, and when he'd go back and talk to his engineering buddies, and he'd say, "Hey, my motor was in this treadmill," and the guys would say, "Oh man, that's not a good treadmill." It's like, no, but the motor's great. It does this, it does this. But the stigma of that particular piece of fitness equipment didn't have such a positive impression on the industry. So what he did is he got tired of hearing that. So he said, you know what, I can make a treadmill, or I can make an elliptical, I can make a recumbent bike. So he did. He opened up his own company, and he started making his own line of fitness equipment that focused on quality.
And you're bringing some new technology into fitness equipment, and these are mainly designed for the gym, I think, at least thus far. Tell us what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, so we've got an entire line of cardio equipment that generates electricity as you work out. So we have an upright and recumbent cycle. We have an indoor, what is more commonly known to a spin cycle. We have an elliptical. We have a 3-in-1 cross trainer, which is an elliptical, cycle, and stepper motion. And we also have the world's first energy-producing treadmill. Most of these are designed for gyms, but obviously we're not going to stop someone from buying it for their home. But later on this year, we should be unveiling the upper end residential line that should complement, the kind of like those folks that have some of their gyms at home or can afford a little more pricier treadmill at their house.
And would they be able to benefit from the electricity generation as well, residential use?
Absolutely. Yes. It'll be an eco-power line for high-end residential customers.
Very interesting. So tell us how this works. Pretend I'm like a gym owner and in the market for equipment. Sell me this thing. Why does it make sense for me?
Well, sir, nowadays a lot of folks are becoming more and more concerned with the state of the environment. And any little thing that we can do helps in the long run. And obviously, the more you do it, or the more people that do it, the impact is exponential. So if you think of a hamster running on a hamster wheel, we kind of have that same concept where the equipment is the hamster wheel, and you are the hamster. So as your motion is turning a belt, or a stride on an elliptical, or the wheel on a cycle, it's actually powering a generator, which is producing electricity. And without getting into too much technical detail, we've got what we call a microinverter that cleans up the power into a form that can be used by other devices in your facility or in your home, without the need for an electrician to wire up something special for our equipment. So basically, as long as you have an outlet with 3-prong plug, otherwise known as a NEMA 515, you'll be able to use our equipment without any problem.
And is the typical user going to be generating more electricity than he or she consumes from the operation of the equipment?
Yes. So our treadmill, for example, within 3 seconds of you pressing of your workout starting, you're going to be generating enough electricity to power the equipment and to send power back into the facility. And it works the same with all the other equipment as well. Like our bikes, for example, you have to hit resistance level 2, because we start at 1. And as soon as you hit resistance level 2, at that moment, then our generator engages and you're generating electricity. So while our equipment is not in use, if they stay idle for a short period of time, and if they aren't used within that setting, which is customizable, they'll go into sleep mode. So you're basically not consuming any electricity at all until you turn it on and those lights are flashing. But it's very nominal. the electricity that's being used when it's not used during a workout. So the moment a person jumps on and starts a workout, then their electricity consumption actually goes into production, and you're producing way more than you've ever consumed.
Is a gym owner going to save money on an electric bill?
Uh, Technically, yes. But we don't like to lead with that, because when you say you're going to save money, then obviously the next question is, how much am I going to save? You know, the amount of electricity that's produced really depends on the amount of use that the equipment has. So the higher the use, the more electricity that's produced. And what happens is you really offset the electricity that you're consuming from the public utility company. So, for example, if you've got an electrical circuit that our equipment is plugged into, and let's say a television is also plugged into that same circuit, the television is going to use our electricity before it pulls it from the panel box, which means that it's not going to be pulling from the public utility, which means that you're not going to be paying for whatever electricity is consumed that's not produced by the electric company.
Very interesting. And I guess one of the big selling points is just the coolness factor and the idea that you're going to a gym or operating a gym that's a little bit greener.
Yes, absolutely. We have a gym in Sacramento, California, that actually, in combination with solar panels and a battery wall, dropped their electricity bill from $680 down to $30. And I've been told personally that they don't even have an electricity bill, but until I see it documented, I really can't speak for it. But yeah, folks are wanting to do more than just workout, you know, because when you burn your sweat, obviously you're doing it for health reasons. But if there can be a higher purpose associated with that sweat burn, then a lot of folks are more attracted to it. In fact, I've heard some gym owners say that some of their members are actually willing to pay a little bit more just because there's that extra factor involved where they're giving back to the environment.
And how much more expensive is this equipment? And you actually have a brand for it, right?
Yes, absolutely. We're very comparable to the major players in the industry, like Techno Gym, Life Fitness, Cybex, like those big guys. We're not very comparable to, like, let's say, a brand like Spirit, which more of the residential or kind of like the housing units have. But we're more comparable to the higher end fitness equipment manufacturers.
And these are sold under the name of the line is EcoPower. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. The brand, the line that actually produces electricity, we call it EcoPower line.
Cool. So the plan is to get these in as many gyms as possible, obviously, for your business, and
Yes,
bring these into the residential market as well.
yes, sir. We figure anywhere they can go, where they can create an impact for the environment, that's where we want to put them. Obviously, as a business, we want to sell as many as possible. But our owner and founder, Paul Kuo, is very, very conscientious of our impact on the environment. In fact, when we built the new factory, which was, I want to say, in the early 90s, we have the factory in a city called Tainan in Taiwan, which is kind of in the southern part of Taiwan. And while he was building this entire property, he had the environment in mind. So, for example, underneath all the buildings, before the buildings were even put up, he installed these tanks that would collect rainwater. And if you can imagine, Tainan is kind of almost on the same latitude as Honolulu, Hawaii, so it's very tropical and gets a lot of rain. And we're able to collect almost 5.5 million gallons of water a year that's reused there on the property as well. So he wants to make sure that we're leaving the planet in a much better state than when we found it.
Great stuff. Where's the best place for people to go for more info?
For more info, sir, they can visit us on our website, which is gosportsart.com. And you can read us in English, Spanish, Chinese traditional, or Chinese simplified, and soon to be in German as well.
Terrific. Again, it's gosportsart.com. Ruben Mejia, thank you for taking the time with us.
You're welcome, sir. You have a great day.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C. Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, And it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love Crane.